Hey YouTube, YugiRox97 coming at you with an updated Frog Monarch deck profile. Pretty much I'm making this because I have a lot of requests to do this, and because I have a lot of requests, I'm uploading this, and I have two proxies because my friend is currently borrowing my effect veilers. So yeah, DD Crow's the proxy for that, but you'll just see that when I get into the deck profile. I'll let you guys know I'm not currently running Frog Monarchs. There's no real reason. I mean, I'm currently running Infernities, but yeah. So now I'm going to start. So, start off the deck with 3 Caius. Obviously, it's your main staple Monarch. You have to play him at 3, because he's just monster removal. Just monster removal plus 1. 3 Ryza. Really good. It's just like Caius, monster removal plus 1. He's really good for slowing down the opponent, and just Caius banishes, which sometimes they can get back, and Ryza top deck, so it's really good if they opened a bad hand. So that's why you play 3 Ryza, and it's just generic plus 1. Dark Dust Spirit. Dark Dust is good because just gets rid of big fields. However, it's not the greatest against E-Dragons because, you know, the Drago Sack's going to stay there. So sometimes I side him out against E-Dragons, but he's still really good. Only 2 Lad. There's a reason I'm only playing 2 Lads. You'll see in a second. But Lad is probably still the best card, the best tribute in the deck. Just generating free advantage, destroying your opponent's resources. And then when he dies, after all that happened, you get something back from grave, which can create some really good plays if you bring back a Monarch and bounce it back to hand with Swap Frog or something. And the only reason I'm playing 2 Lad is because I am running an Obelisk over Lad. Having the Obelisk over the 3rd Lad isn't always the greatest choice, but I'm playing this right now because E-Dragons, because most E-Dragons aren't even playing Dark Hole, they have 0 outs to this card. The most creative out I've ever seen them try to use is Drago Sax, get 2 tokens, summon a Veiler, try to make a Black Rose to destroy everything. But this deck runs Veiler, and I just so happened to have it to protect the Obelisk, and he had 0 outs in his deck, so he literally couldn't get over this card. And it's just really, really good against E-Dragons and everything but Prophecy, because Prophecy can just fade him, which is really annoying. It can actually beat over him, too. 3 Swap Frog, best card in the deck, dumps your frogs. There's been a huge change in this deck for the Frog engine. I'll show you guys that here in a second, but it had to be done because this format's way too fast. But Swap Frog's just the best card in the deck for dumping Treeborn. Now, personally, I'm not the biggest fan of 3 Treeborn in any format but this one. This format, I feel... that's a rare. No. I feel 3 Treeborn is necessary in this format just because the more you have of this, the faster your deck goes, and the faster you get him engraved. I was playing Dupe Frog, however I'm not playing Dupe Frog right now, which might surprise you considering I'm a big fan of Dupe Frog. But he's just too slow for this format right now because E-Dragons, they'll just outspeed you, maybe even Big Eye your face down, which will be probably annoying. They can, Prophecy can just fade it. Well, Prophecy are just going to out-advantage you anyways, which is kind of sad because that's Frog Monarch's big advantage. But, yeah, so I feel like you have to play 3 Treeborn in this format instead of 2 and then some Dupe Frogs. So I'm currently not running Dupe Frog. And 1 Roan Totem makes good gotchi plays. It's 2k defense. Hand traps, gores, double trag. Just, you know, protection. I don't really... These cards aren't even as good as they used to be now because Big Eye exists. Like, the way this format's been going, I don't think Frog Monarch's the best choice to be playing, which is why I'm not currently running it, but it's still just a good meta call. But these things can get big-eyed so fast that I might even considering Swift Scarecrow over Trag. But I'm just too big of a fan of Trag to take him out because he's really good against anything but things that make Big Eye. 3 Battle Fader, obviously. It's too good. It's an extra tribute. It's damage protection, no OTKs. Other hand traps that aren't battle stoppers, 2 Maxi. It's my favorite hand trap right now. It's just so much plus, and it's the only draw power this deck has. I'd actually play 3 of this and take out 3rd Soul Exchange for the 3rd one of this, because if you open bad, you can draw in a Swap Frog against things that are really fast, like E-Dragons. I usually side this out against Prophecy, but still good. And like I said, these are 2 Effect Veiler. Don't play DD Crow. This card is not good. And even if it was good, like ish, it's still just the neg one for this and the neg one for Veiler are completely different. So yeah, these are Effect Veilers. Run 2 Effect Veilers, not DD Crow. Yeah, I hope no one just like I'm running DD Crow in my Frog Monarchs. 2 duality, get your stuff faster. You need that Swap Frog. You need your Monarchs. Dualities, like I said earlier, you need a 3 Treeborn, and because it's faster. So people might question why I run duality, because it's kind of slow. And it stops special summoning, but if you don't have your setup, you need this really, really badly. And frogs are just the only problem with frog monarchs is the consistency issues they can have in their opening hand. So I choose to play double duality. People always question me on that. 2 econ. I play 2 enemy controller. However, I want to play 3. I actually don't have a 3rd one though. Well, I think I have a 3rd common in my 10s, but I'm not. Yeah, I'm not searching those. But if you have 3 econ, play it because it's so good against Big Eye. And econ's just one of the best cards in the deck because it's just a brain control, and just brain controlling Dragosacks, Big Eyes. It gets so stupid, and that's one of the best outs this deck has. 3 Soul Exchange. I'd probably cut this down to 2. It's a little much Soul Exchange right now. In fact, econ is actually better this format. Last format, wind-up format, I played this at 3, and I wish I could play more back then, but that was just because Shockmaster was calling monsters effects and wind-ups, and Shockmaster was so huge, and now Shockmaster's more of an out to like E-Drags and stuff like that, or Dragon Rulers. I've been saying them wrong. Yeah, so I'd cut down Soul Exchange, but it's still really good. Foolish, if you know my Frog Monarch builds real well, you'll know I am not a fan of this card, but I think you have to play it this format just because it's really fast to dump Treeborn. Usually if I already have Treeborn, I will literally just leave this in hand because I don't like the neg 1, and I'm a big fan of huge Trags. So I'll just leave this in hand and make my opponent fear the advantage, keep guessing a card in my hand, and I just won't use it unless I really have to. But if you don't have Treeborn and you draw this, it's just all your Monarchs are free to go. Only 2 MST. I'm only playing 2 because the main meta decks aren't really playing back row. Mermails, I still consider them really meta-ish, and I just conserve these until they activate the sphere, and then you just pop it. But it's good against grind decks. You don't let decks grind you out with this. You pop back row. It's good. Staples, heavy. Dark Hole, Reborn. Some people aren't playing Dark Hole right now, but I feel it's always been necessary in Monarchs because Monarchs have a hard time dealing with big fields with a lot of monsters. So I feel Dark Hole is just really good, especially against first turn Gaios. Like, that's still one of my main issues, first turn Gaios, and Dark Hole is just an easy out. Just got a message on Skype. So yeah, that was the deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed. The extra deck's just generic, Slackers, Gotchi, Slackers and Gotchis, and then, Gauntlet Launchers, Bouncer, Tolemus, just stuff you can overlay with Econ, and it's a pretty generic thing. Side deck, I don't have one built, because I'm not currently playing Frogs, but yeah, that's the deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave a comment, and subscribe. This was Yu-Gi-Oh! Rocksmith 7. Bye, YouTube.